You know what? You're the author of your own heartbreak. Like, most people won't want to admit this because it comes to a point where we have to understand and accept that we are creating a person that doesn't exist. Like, the reason that we struggle to heal from heartbreak so much or so often is not because they are better than what they are. It's because we've made them better than what they are. We keep telling ourselves that they were this good person, that they were all these amazing things. And they might be. They might have really good qualities, but they weren't good to you. It doesn't matter how good they look to other people. It matters how they treated you. Sometimes we get so caught up in what other people say about them that we forget that we matter too, that we're important. We are the author of our own heartbreak because we put people on pedestals that don't belong there. We make them better than what they are. And then our mind ruminates over this. We just sit there and tries to just depict and dissect why it didn't work. It doesn't matter what you think about them. Like, I need you to be clear. What you think is important, but it doesn't matter more than what you are going through. Like, the facts are more important than what your hopes and desires are. And we will sit here and hurt for years because we have made them to be a better person than what they actually are. So if you were to actually sit here and dissect and look at what they're doing and what they were saying, does it actually match the person that you have in your brain? Like, the actions they're taking, the style that they are with you, the way that they are with you, does that actually sit and make sense with who you think they are? Because the truth is that you are causing yourself pain. Like, can you sit here and analyze that? And again, I'm not saying that everybody's bad and we have to find all the bad things in people, because sometimes things just don't work, and I get that, I understand that. But if you were trying to make effort, if you were trying to show up for them and they walked away from you, that is a gift to you, because you were you were making everything possible. You were trying, you were making the effort, you were showing up, and it wasn't enough for them. There's this weird trend happening, especially on social media, where women are like divorcing their husbands because they say that they're too safe. This is how diluted our world is, by the way. This is how much of a mess we're in, that we are abandoning good things because they feel too safe. And it's not, we could do a whole thing just on deregulated nervous systems and the fact that you think toxicity is good because you're so addicted to it and become so accustomed to be treated poorly that when someone treats you good, you think it's bad because it's safe. I'm not doing that right now. But just this notion that people are walking away from good things because it doesn't align with the things that they were used to being treated poorly in. Like, when someone treats you good, for a lot of people, they don't know how to take that, so they run. It makes them scared to receive that thing, and they get away from it. And I need you to understand that sometimes, even if you are good, even if you show up and you give and you pour, you cannot outpour, outwork, outshow up someone's trauma, someone's baggage. You can't do more for them than they're doing against themselves, because it's already an uphill battle. So all you're doing is joining in this battle and losing. They already are struggling with these things. So if you are pouring in, if you were good, if you were giving, you were trying, and they walked away from you, that is a gift for you, because you would have kept trying because you're good. You would have kept pouring in. You would have kept showing up completely, and they would have kept taking advantage of it. They would have used it when it stroked their ego, when it made them feel good, and cast you aside when they didn't need you anymore. There are some people that, again, they might be amazing people, but they're not amazing to you. And we're the author of our own heartbreak because we keep painting them out to be better than what they actually are. Again, they could be great. They could be good people, but they're not treating you like you are. They're not treating you like they are. They're not being that to you. And at some point, we need to start accepting who they are. Like, coming to terms with the realization of who this person is. Not just the desire that I want, not just what I can envision them in, but who are they right now? It's not what you want them to be. It's who are they to you. And if we fall in love with this idea and this fantasy of a person that doesn't exist, we're going to keep making ourselves terrible. In some sense, in some way, you have to agree with the reality of what it is. Like, come to terms with it. I'm not saying that it's going to change overnight and you're going to be perfectly fine and whatever. I'm saying that you need to come to terms with that and do what you need to after. But at the very least, the very foundational purpose of this, just look at this thing, look at this person, what they're saying, what they're doing. It doesn't align with who you're pretending they are. And if we're being real, a lot of times we try to explain away the things that they've gone through because it safeguards us. Like, we try to say, oh, their past or their previous relationships or how they were brought up. You'll try to justify everything that they did wrong to you so that you don't feel like you were wrong. It doesn't matter. I mean, what they've gone through is important, but you shouldn't be the reciprocal for their pain. Like, it shouldn't be all on you to feel and to go through and to heal that for them. And it shouldn't also be that you're making an excuse for their poor behavior towards you. Just because they have a rough past doesn't give them pass to be crappy. We all have a rough past. We've all gone through things. We've all struggled. It doesn't mean that you treat people bad, especially people who you are supposedly interested in. You don't show up for them like that. And I think that we're going to continue these cycles until we are firm in how we deserve to be loved. Because some people will do whatever and say whatever and they'll get away with it, but some people will finally stand up towards that. Like, you can't continue to allow people, especially romantically, to be able to get away with things that you know they shouldn't be getting away with. Again, I'm not saying don't show grace, don't show leniency. I'm saying there's some things that you can improve in, of course. But there's a difference between moments that people need to be loved, and there's a difference between habits that need to be broken. And you can't sit here and just inflame their habits. You can't make them bigger, because all they're going to do is walk over you. We need to realize that some people have patterns, and the way they act towards us is going to be repeated. When you identify the pattern and not the person, you'll be able to dissect what their actions are going to be. Because some people will respond to you out of a mistake. Things happened. Life is life, and you can forgive that. But a pattern will be a habit that they'll continue to live in. They've built this into them, and it's despite you. It has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with how you respond to it. Because you can give that pattern life. You can sit there and say, okay, well, I'm going to sit here and just look away or act like nothing ever happened just because I'm more interested in having you in my life than I am in loving myself enough to walk away from that thing. Those patterns will tell you who they are. The words will convince you of other things. They'll sound nice, they'll sound pretty, but patterns will be real. They will show you boldly who that person is. And if you see the patterns and you choose to not believe them, that's on you. You can't even blame them because they showed you and you chose to ignore it. So now this is something you got to deal with. Because if we allow people who show us what they think of us to continue to treat us that way, we're telling them, whether consciously or subconsciously, that it's okay to treat me poorly, that it's okay to do whatever you need. We need to be firm on what we deserve. Like, be clear that these people shouldn't be doing these things and shouldn't be getting away with it. And until we're firm on that, the wrong people will always get away with the right thing. They will always treat us how they want to treat us. At some stage in your life, some point in your life, the decision is going to be, do I stay in the place that I've convinced myself I belong in? Or do I walk away from it knowing that I don't deserve this? And that's the hardest thing you will ever do. Decide that you no longer want to stay in a place that's treating you poorly. We are the authors of our own heartbreak. And the only way we heal from that is by making sure that we stop allowing the wrong people to get away with things.